finna go up under the cabal. We not finna be part of none of them bullshit shenanigans that they want to run on the regular people to usurp their freedoms and their liberty as a sovereign being to walk the earth. We gonna retain our sovereign status by surrendering our nationality. We gonna retain our sovereign status by surrendering our nationality. And all of them slave catchers is trying to convince you to get the nationality. Ask them who is superior, the sovereign or the national. Soon as he tell you the national is superior, you know he a slave catcher. He might not even know he's slave catcher. That's the sad part. But remember, they look like us. They not us. They hide behind pale faces to block us out the institutions. So Big Mama invited a bunch of friendly pale faces to kick the doors of the institutions and to roll the information out into the public domain, so we don't ever have to go into their institutions to get it. All we got to do is be willing and able to do what's required as our portion of the family business, because all parts of the family is doing they parts of the family business according to their skill set, their knowledge base, and their performance ability. Everybody's going to be successful because ain't nobody going to take up something that they not versed enough in to come out victorious. And we all working together even though we working separate. We can't all do the same thing at the same time and try to get a result when you got an enemy that's watching you at every turn. You got to have different people take on the problem from a different perspective, and the person that can tie all of the perspectives together get to read the picture to the people and tell you exactly what it say. And at this point, after Mother's Day, it's all over. It's all over. Now, how they gonna roll it out, what it's gonna look like, I can't tell you the details. I'm just showing you the connected dot pictures before the crayons even get on the page. Crayons ain't even on the page, so you ain't got no color to this connected dots. I just connected all of the dots. So you looking at a silhouette in black and white. You ain't looking at a full color picture or what we call a 3D play out. But once you know what the black and white picture look like, the 3D layout doesn't alarm you anymore because you say, oh yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. It got to happen that way. Right? Storms and earthquakes, floods in diverse places. All the timekeepers watching the stellar events. The almanac writers know from the stellar events what the weather pattern is. With no modern AI intelligence, they've been doing almanacs for thousands of years in the temples, in the pyramid temple priesthoods, in the Vatican temple priesthoods. So if you go get an old almanac and it tell you that it's going to rain on December 31st, at 2:15, the only thing that could be altered in that almanac when it comes time to rain is it could get a little bit colder and turn into snow or sleet. But they already can tell from the stellar events and the magnetic movement of the major planets how it affects the weather patterns on the earth. This is where they even came up with an idea of creating weather manipulation. The whole purpose of weather manipulation ain't what people think it is. It's to confuse you about time. They want to confuse you about time. All time is you have to have spacers in order to map out a precession. The spacers tell you where the steps go. Just like they teach the $5 Indians how to do Crip walk by numbers, but the Crips know how to do it by feeling. They're not going to look the same. They not going to move the same. Because it's in somebody's DNA, and then the other people, it's just in their memory from being rote knowledge. It ain't what they soul know. But that second line stutter step, you can't just do that. It look easy until you start trying to do that shit and you realize only way somebody do this is they got to have it in their blood because they learning it too early for it to only be taught to them by step. You got 2 and 3 year olds on the second line with their feathers on, strutting down the street and following that pattern, that dance step that comes from their soul. Right in step with the old lady. The 2-year-old and the old lady that's 80-something years old, both doing this second line stutter step the same. And this not in your soul. They don't even know each other. But when they break out with that Mardi Gras music and they start strutting up that street to remind us of the great procession, which is the procession of the matriarchy, but we don't know this because we don't know our history, where we used to all dress up for the celebrations. They got y'all thinking that every day we walked around with feathers in our head, like some goddamn goofies. They don't even know that shit ceremonial garb. Man, we was wearing denim, cotton-made cloth for clothes. We was wearing clothes made out of leather and animal pelts. We wasn't running around with no goddamn feathers on a day-to-day basis. That's ceremonial dress. Nobody wore that shit every day. But they had you believing we lived in teepees too. That's the same as you catching some niggas camping saying that you caught them living in the tent. We was on our way to the Gullah Wars. We had to have the tents to set up camp on route. We didn't allow the land to be spoiled by the devices of man over here like it is now. So they came over here and they did their thing. Yeah, we did. We used hemp to make fabric as well. We use hemp for so much shit, they said we got to ban this or we ain't gonna never sell no plastic. Look, you can make a quality plastic out of hemp that's biodegradable and friendly to the environment, and it looks just like the plastic that they make from DuPont. It's just as sturdy and durable. The only thing is it don't take 275 years for it to break down and decay. Yeah, we was in the... Look, our craftsmen believed in quality above all other things, and that's called putting your pride in your work, right? So everything we did, we took care to do it correctly and to do it as best as the skill set that we have developed will allow every time. And we know that every time we perform the task, we're going to get better because practice makes perfect. You can't never attain perfection without the practice required to hone in the faculty, the skill, right? Some people with talent, but talent can only take you so far if you don't develop the skill to accentuate it. No, I won't be there. My finances was not, I I hadn't recovered from my Florida trip financially to take the trip to Philly, so I won't be able to make it. Yeah. Perfect practice makes perfect performance. Yeah. In my literature, we got something known as the 5 P's. Preparation prevents poor performance, right? This is something that we use as a guideline to the endeavors that we are about to engage in. If you understand what properly preparing for something, it looked like a miracle when you manifest what you prepared yourself to perform to perfection. The proper preparation of a thing is preventative of poor performance, right? But it's the same way that proper preparation prevents the poor performance. Perfect performance is performed from proper preparation. It's a two-way street. It's just like Moore's got a saying, man finds himself where he solves his problems best. I said, that sounds almost right. But I think it's man solves his problems best where he finds himself. Because only once you discover the self will you be qualified to be your best version of problem solver. People want a successful life, but if it comes to them putting a plan together, they fall apart. Think about that. You want success, but when it comes time to put a plan together, you fall apart. That means you plan to fail, because the plan to fail is the failure to plan. It's almost guaranteed. And the work don't always have to be hard, Kalikai. The work can be consistent. And you can make what was a hard job yesterday an easier job today once you can perform it better. Almost everything you do, when the first time you do it, is difficult. But the more you do it, it becomes more manageable and you become more effective in getting it done. So, Manuel Noriega, he the head of state. The Geneva Convention prohibits the capture of a head of state because they are the ones that's supposed to negotiate the conclusion to the military conflict we call war. When Ronald Reagan, Oliver North, and George Bush got caught, by this time, the CIA had already started Ronald Reagan on his Alzheimer's inducing medications to suppress his memory. See, and then they forced his wife to give him that shit because they told her if he start to run his mouth, then the next time the assassin won't miss. So Nancy got to keep Ronnie sedated. George Bush assumed the responsibilities of the president in Ronald Reagan's second term, go almost about a year into the term. By this point, Ronnie don't know his asshole from his appetite. And so they get knocked on the Iran-Contra. And instead of them being captured by the JAG and taken into the military tribunals for using government office to sell firearms to the known enemy, which is in violation of the Trading with the Enemies Act. Now, you got to go back, you can look it up on YouTube and review the Iran-Contra hearings that they was having. It's going to blow your mind that the highest officials of government on the land at the time is trading military munitions to the enemy that allegedly held Americans hostage during the Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan debate period of the election, the campaign. Why ain't nobody campaigning now? I seen Brother Collide ask the question I asked last year and the year before. Normally, midway through the second term, the president and his number one opponent be doing debates and all kind of shit. Y'all ain't seen no presidential debate. Y'all haven't heard a rumor that they gonna have a presidential debate. What's going on with your presidency? These criminals are being rounded up. Look, somebody sent me a picture, a video. The video had the bodies that was being rolled off of the plane. And nobody didn't know what that was. That's them people that been being executed in Guantanamo Bay, being brought back stateside. Some of them gonna have funeral services, but a lot of them not. Many of them just gonna be burn that motherfucker up, throw his ashes out to sea. Peace, deuces to you, fuck you in your motherfucking horse you rode in on, you rotten motherfuckers. So they showing us the receipt, but they not always telling us what the receipt is. So the order to arrest Noriega is the equivalent to that order. This is the what you call the comparative analysis, or the paradoxical view. The president, vice president are ordering the military to capture him, and he's held up refuge with asylum by the Catholic Church. It's the same as your co-defendant in a criminal case in federal court. Send the sheriff department to go arrest you over in Canada to make sure you get prosecuted for the crime y'all did together. The crime that you was goaded into by the same motherfuckers that's coming to get you. There's a legal term called entrapment. And this is what that is. It's entrapment when the government manufacture a whole criminal enterprise just to lure you in and charge you with a criminal act. This is how they ran COINTELPRO, to get people like Larry Hoover, to get people like Angel Bay, to get all of the chiefs off the land, to wrongfully convict people that they know they wrongfully convicting before they ever arrested them. They knew they didn't have a just cause, but remember, we at war. They know it, we don't. They never told us outright that they was attacking us the way they were. But they was performing every activity of a warring agency upon the people that you could believe. Look, y'all might not believe what I'm about to tell y'all. Y'all might not believe this crap, this shit here. This is some real shit. Criminal Bureau of Justice statistics. Police shoot more pale faces than they do us. Why all our shit turn into rebellious celebrations of idiots? Where you bring in your Reverend Al Sharptons and Jesse Jacksons to tell us to be calm, and they killing more of the other color than they is of us. Why we got to be sensationalized as the permanent victim every time something happens? They got to make us be the victims that don't have the self-control to throw these motherfuckers in jail. Only they got the self-control. They got to stir our emotions up with Malice Green They got to get us to riot with Rodney King, right? But they don't tell you about all of those teenage pink kids they be shooting. And that's why them motherfuckers are shooting up the schools. They getting the same treatment from the government, but they not being sensationalized, so they feel like they struggle not even being considered. And all the time they using the media to sensationalize the stuff that happened to us to make it look like that we the ones that they really doing the most dirt to, when they doing their dirt to us, but they doing it in a different way than we think. They tricking us to stay divided and conquered. They telling them boys in the hood, don't talk to them boys on the bikes with the tattoos. The boys in the hood got tattoos, and they telling the boys in the hood, don't talk to them boys on them bikes with the tattoos. Why I can't talk to them? They might understand me if we have a conversation, but as long as I listening to y'all tell me don't talk to them, we not gonna never know if we really don't like each other or not. Or if somebody told us we don't like each other and we fell for the banana in the tailpipe. These same people created the Jewish Defense League and the Anti-Defamation League. Very few of y'all know that the Jewish Defense League was created to be a paramilitary opponent for the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Because they started using the Jewish Defense League as an extortion agency and as a homicide hit squad. They used the Anti-Defamation League as a public relations watchdog group. And this is why they passing laws where you can't say nothing about these people, or else you considered anti-Semitic, and then they can bring the lawman to your front door. Right? We all know genetically that the black woman got every nation in her genetics. We know this. That don't say except for the European, the pale-skinned European. It don't say they excluded from the genome of the sisters. They not excluded. We know personally sisters and brothers that we absolutely know not Caucasian, not pale-skinned European, in some of our families that damn near look like they could pass. If we didn't know who their mama and daddy was, most of the time we'd think they was adopted. Especially when you get to what they call two of them bright folks together and they make one of them light bright babies. Y'all don't know about that in the South? I know y'all know about that in the South. And then, where all of the niggas that was passing, where they go? What happened to them? They just disappeared? Remember, they was passing. So they somewhere. And they trying to tell us our DNA can tell them we from Africa, but it can't tell them that this nigga passing. It's more likely your genetics can tell you you not a pale European than it is can tell you that we from Africa. We not supposed to have no what you call analytical capabilities. We ain't supposed to break this shit down into smaller bites and study each piece. When we start doing that, now they start sending their little low-level, illiterate minions that jumped on the bandwagon, the Johnny-come-lately $2.50 Indians, because they missed the $5 boat. So now they only half of them motherfuckers, $2.50 ass niggas. They got, look, Cherokee is the catch term. This is why there's so many different looking people under the banner of Cherokee. It's a catch term like more. The Anahuia original tribe is the parent tribe of the collective under the catch term Cherokee. And all of this goes back to the reclassification, cataloging us like animals. And because they told the lie so good, and they got people that look like us perpetuating the lie, we started to believe that the lie was true when they told us out the gate, history is written by the victors and history is a lie agreed upon. And they don't never tell us who is these victors that's writing this history and what is this lie they agreeing upon and why is they agreeing upon this lie instead of the other lie. Because I know they got more than one, because Winston Churchill said that the truth is so valuable it must be carefully guarded by a ring of lies. So tell me, which one of the lies in the ring need to be exposed first in order for you to figure out that all of this stuff is a made-up construct just for them to undermine who you are and disassociate you from your tribal birthright, from your organic aboriginal right as a caretaker of the land to assume your jurisdictional supremacy as the sovereign body of the planet when you align with the collective mothers. Once you do that, your birthright activates. Once your birthright activates, now we can drag these suckers out in the open. This is a done deal. We ready now. We can tell you with the references everything they did. Even when they bring their own references, because when you playing with cheaters, you got to keep the rule book open. When you playing with cheaters, you got to keep the rule book open. And I'm glad rule number 1, turnabout, is fair play. If they use it on you, you can use it back on their ass. But you got to let them use it first. So now they mad because everything they use to conquer us, we used it as the means to conquer them. And then they got caught in their own trap. And they mad at us because we was the ones trapping them in the trap they was setting for us. My mama told these some bitches a long time ago, when you dig a ditch, dig two, motherfucker, because I'm not falling in that first one. I see it's there. Because if you put me in the ditch, your ass gonna be in the ditch next to me. You better believe that. We hillbillies, we warring. Bring war to the city. Ain't no thing. We was born on drive-bys, brought up to bang. This is how we move. Right? So they sit here and they want to know, what is the order of the round table? The order of the round table, Larry is the speaker. He is the chairman of the board. That means that Larry's responsibility as the chief on the land, whether he like it or he don't like it, whether he want it or he don't want it, he is the most qualified to come out and to give the report to the people, because they don't got to report to this government. They got to report to the people. The people sanctions government. The report to the people must tell them about the conquest that we just got done making over our enemy, and that this was a drawn out, protracted struggle that required all of the tribes to perform in different capacities on the land in order to conquer the enemy. We was heavily infiltrated. We was overthrown, but we was overthrowing the overthrower that was overthrowing us when we was doing our judo on their ass. Just when they thought they had us flipped, we flipped their ass. This is just how the game played. It's not personal. This is checkmate, motherfuckers. Right? We did it with the music. We did it in the entertainment with the movies. They thought they was going to control the narrative. So we took the narrative they thought they was giving us and we slid in there Cicely Tyson to tell you that she was not no African. Right? Her daddy was a full-blooded Iroquois.